such a blessing. And thank you for creating this beautiful space where we come together and rise the vibration and talk about beautiful channeling subjects that come through. And this is my pleasure to be here with these two masculine energies and share my feminine energy with you guys.
That's beautiful, and that's the intention of tonight, to come, to united, the secret feminine and the secret masculine, and really share about our vision, about the new world, and also how do we see, sexuality in the new world. How do I want to show up as a man, as a sexual man in the new world, and how you, woman, goddess, are going to show up, and how we're going to help each other, in becoming those goddesses that can serve, an higher purpose through sexuality and not be used and abused through this such a powerful force.
Wow, totally. Like, it's really, this is my passion, and all this knowledge is coming back into the surface. Like, even Maria Magdalene books that they were like hiding and they were burned because they were like, she was showing the power as a woman and as creative life force, what we can do with that energy. And she used to like connect through, they used to do tantra, Maria Magdalene and Jesus, and now all of this information is coming back because now we have the power of channeling. So a lot of people is channeling Maria Magdalene, and she's bringing all this knowledge and all these things that we literally, no one tell us about. We grew up in a society, we were so confused because this powerful life force energy is so strong, and because it's who we are, and starts to like really take over your body when you are starting to grow up and you don't know what to do with it. Like you cannot really talk to no one about it because it's such a taboo, and not even like reach, like, how do I find information? Can I talk to my teachers? No. In school it's the opposite, they don't really tell you nothing about it. Your parents know, like they are as repressed as all our ancestors. Is coming from our lineages. So it's like, oh, what do I do with it? And just like to remember what we can do with that energy is like, wow. It's literally, as you said, Benny, like we are gods and goddesses, and we can create, as we can create life, we can create like the new world, like not just life as a baby, yes, but if we know how to rise that energy, we can create whatever we want. Like it's unlimitless, that energy that we can do with.
And that's your field, that's where you work now with sexuality. You're a tantra teacher also, like.
Yes. What I came here to this lifetime is really be in service to learn myself, and as I'm remembering myself, I'm remembering others. The power of creative life force, of sexual energy, tantra, Taoism. And through breath work, I work with a lot of breath work also, because the breath is the key to rise that energy, and yoga, but not like the typical yoga that we think it is, of just like looking pretty and do all these crazy poses. No, using your movement, using your physical body to rise that energy with your breath and sound. And this is my field. I'm always learning. I'm always discovering myself, and I'm just bringing information, and just keep learning.
Yeah, I wanted to say, like, teacher, you're a tantra teacher, and student, like together always. Otherwise, we get lost in those names. Yeah.
Totally. Like, I tell people I'm a facilitator. Like, I'm open soul, like a source where like I receive information, but as I talk, I'm talking to myself, and I just don't know anything. I'm like keep learning. I'm always on that like unknown space where I'm like, oh, let's keep learning, like from intuition, not from like sourcing the outside, like opening my channel to bring the life force through me so I can connect with others. And as I'm doing that, I'm remembering myself the codes that we've forgotten because we know it. It's just like these codes are within us, but we just got lost into the looking in the outside and too distracted into looking for a partner, looking just figuring it out. And it's all within.
Marco, I had the incredible honor to share a few experience with Mariposa already. We met in Panama in this beautiful festival called like Tribal Gathering, something so special. Mm-hmm. And I remember in that moment, I was still deep in my process, to clean and to heal also my sexuality, in some way, somehow, when I met Mariposa, I felt, I don't know, I couldn't even like touch her. I couldn't even like get too close to her because there was like so much moving within me. And, I didn't feel honored, to be there. And then we met again in Bacalar in Mexico. And we shared, it was still a very big process of mine in that moment. And she really, really channeled something so special and helped me in my process to cut cords, with the person in that moment in my life. And since that day, like really, like that was gone. And I remember very well that day when we were seated in that place, in that beautiful bahia in Bacalar, we start to sit and the wind come and start to like come all over us. And I knew that was a spirit. We knew it in that moment. Like I still have chill. It was so special. So when I listen to you talking about channeling and spirit, like, yes, like this is our new reality. That's not like, hippie talk on ultra spiritual. This is our reality. And the more we are clean, we're pure, we're grounded, we're walking our truth and in honesty, the more all of these new frequency, they can be also shared with others.
Yeah, absolutely. And you will be very, very busy now because we are in the process of letting go of the old matrix, the inverted matrix, which we have been involved in this amazing experience, which is a Luciferian experience, so a very, very contractive experience where, of course, sexuality has been navigating mostly in the lower frequencies, giving us experiences that are quite intense in that realm. And now, as soon the magic will collapse completely, we have to rebuild. So we will have thousands and thousands of souls that will have to reconnect to sexuality as the portal that really is, as the divine connection that really is. So congratulations, you got some work to do.
Wow, thank you. Yes. And wow, I feel like this is what I came here to do. Like since I was little, I used to just feel like all that passion, like all this like creative life force energy. And like as soon as I started to like know about Tantra, I was like, oh, this is me. Like using this powerful energy, but like for more spiritual purposes, like wow, this is the most beautiful thing. Like we can use this physical vessel. We don't just repress it. Like a lot of a lot of religions or a lot of techniques like repress your physical body, just go and like close your eyes, like no, use it, like use this like just vessel. It's so beautiful. But you should connect with your senses. Like your senses are a portal to life force. Like use them, like just taste, like passion, like use this 3D physical realm. Like we came here for a reason. We decide to come from source to this like physical realm. Like let's use it. Like let's use it with like as a portal, as a temple, and let's use this like creative life force, but like to source, to God, to remember that we are like the divine union of the masculine and the feminine. Like it's all within. And from that space, when you connect, me as a goddess, biology, I'm a goddess, and you guys are like a man. Like once we connect one and the other one, like how that energy can rise up. Like a lot of people, yeah, and as you said, Benny, like a lot of people are just like spiritual, like bypassing and like, yeah, the kundalini, like, you know, but no, like it's just like it can be a really thin line where we can just get lost into just like just floating up here, but like no, like really rise up with like just with a lot of respect and a lot of reasons. So yeah,
and a lot of hearts, because I really feel in the new earth, you know, the sexual interaction, if is not connected first from the heart, if we don't learn first to penetrate each other from the heart, you know, we can't really penetrate each other with the body, because it's missing the portal, you know, that goes in the other direction. And, you know, it's beautiful to listen about this, you talking, you know, with this light, with this lightness, and really feel my heart. In the other side, when I talk about, you know, the story of my person, so the character that I used to play, you know, in the sexual world was very heavy, because as you know, I was in the sex industry for many years. So it's a totally different experience. It's an experience where nobody teach me that my body is my temple. Nobody teach me, you know, the sexuality is something secret. You know, all I knew, okay, oh, wow, I have this beautiful body. How can I use it? You know, how can I take advantage? You know, and I had lots of sexual energy like crazy. And okay, how can I use it? And nobody really guide me in this process. It's been life, you know, to teach me through pain, you know, through problem, through mess, how to really respect my body. And I'm in this learning process right now. And even this space in this moment, to me, is something secret to help me coming into my truth more and more, and to help also like each other, you know, to be a light for others, you know, in the sexual field.
Yes, thank you for sharing this. And I remember when I met you and you told me that you work in this industry, I was really interested to like know more about it, because it's obvious that you had a lot of creative life force energy. And I mean, a lot of us misuse it. Like, I mean, you misuse it in a way, but I personally misuse it. I used to like let men to come into my temple just to feel accepted to the society, or to feel love, or just to connect. I just want, at the end, we want to connect within ourselves. Like the other person is just a mirror. It's just like we are one. So I wanted to connect, and I thought that was the way, because I thought I saw it in movies, you know, like I grew up with this, like it's just there, like they're selling us that the whole time. As soon as you turn on the TV, it's just like, oh yeah, use this cream to like pleasure your beloved, or like use this like thing to like look sexy. And it's always like that. They're actually making a lot of money with that industry, that is just like, yeah, beauty, pleasure. You can get really, really lost in this kind of like, yeah, energy, because it's really, they say like, if you know how to ride a tiger, it's amazing. But if you just like get distracted, the tiger can like bite you. Like that's how Tantra and Taoism and working with your creative, your sexual energy is, because we can get so lost on just like the physical and just the pleasure part, where it's yeah, I mean, I'm like every day. That's why I teach this, because I need it. What I teach is what the most that I need. Like I'm repeating myself every single day. Respira tu amor, like breathe your own love. Like it's all inwards, it's all inside. Like there's nothing that you need to look in the outside. You are complete. It's all perfect. And yes, it's such a blessing.
Marco, what's your vision in the New Earth, with sexuality in New Earth?
Yeah, tell us.
Well, as we go back into the original blueprint of what really means to be humans, because in the last 10,000 years, we really didn't have a real human experience, considering that most of our buttons are off. We have a DNA that is completely disconnected. We have a pineal gland that is completely closed. Our body is, which is the intelligence of Mother Earth. We don't know how to communicate with it. Our heart is shut down because the ego is taking over. So we had quite a separative, amazing adventure. Now we're getting back to the original blueprint, which means that we are going to embrace back our full costume with all the operating system active. On top of that, we are getting into a system, which is the matrix, which will not have any more aging. It will not have any more diseases. It will not have any more scarcity, survival, all that kind of things are going to be gone. So what is going to happen to sexuality once you're in that predisposition is going to be the creative force, the quintessential creative force. However, as we move forward into the fifth dimension and higher, whether we are men or women, we are going to embrace more and more both the female and the male energy within ourselves. So the sexuality will start to have a different direction. But for now, the most important thing is to rebalance our interaction with our sex and with our sexuality and with our opposite sex. And that's a lot of work that needs to be done. There's a lot of deprogramming that needs to be done in the next few years. So in the love-making dance, in my perception, the more the male gives, the more he receives. And the more the female allows to receive, the more she gives. So when both the male giving and the female receiving reach their fullness, then male and female boundaries dissipate into oneness.
Wow.
So that should be the playground, the intent. But of course, we are in a situation where everything has been completely, how do you say, alterated. You know, we have the media and the culture, the society is full of taboo, is full of misdirection. What it means to be sexual is completely egoic, coming from the ego. So there's a lot of confusion, and now there is even the idea that pedophilia is a normal thing, and the gender they are trying to mix the gender, right? Men and women. So that's the Luciferian program at its best. And so there's a lot of things that needs to be addressed at this time. in my personal relationship with sexuality at this time, it has been evolving in many. I experience sexuality in many ways. At this time, my experience with sexuality is just an opportunity for share an intimate moment with somebody that I really love. And from there, of course, we can exchange the energy and we can create basically a portal. Because the reason why the sexuality is being so attacked by the system is because when we become fully lovers, we cannot be controlled, right? So when we are really fully, actively lovers, nothing and nobody can control us. And when we are lovers, we in the moment, in the orgasmic moment, that's the moment where we download informations that are extremely powerful, that take us to a knowledge that they don't want us to know. And that's why they create sexuality as a sin, or they make it taboo, or they make it they distort it with pornography.
Exactly.
So that's all. Those are all ways of the system to control humanity, because a humanity that is sexually free cannot be caged, cannot be controlled, because they are on top of their imagination, they're on top of their creativity, and they are in the highest level of joy. Because when two lovers, they are not really concerned about making sense. They are concerned about making love, and there's a huge difference between the two. In one, the mind is involved. In the other one is our heart that is involved. Is our creative process that is involved. So there is a lot of things that needs to be. We need to be reconnected to. So it's fascinating. It's beautiful.
I think it's very important if maybe you can spend a couple more words. You were talking about taboo in one side, with religion. In the other side, there is porn, with this like crazy taking energy from us, making these like so dirty and so depraved. Both energy, they're coming from the same source. And I would like for you to talk a little bit more about that.
Well, that's another way how the psychopath reptilian at the top of the game are sucking our energy. In this case, the sexual energy, because you see, sex as they manufacture it is a byproduct of lovemaking, and is a product that is mostly based on domination and submission. So if I am a woman, sometimes also a man, but if I'm a woman, I get pleasure by feeling dominated. And the domination, of course, can go lower and lower and lower and lower into very, very satanic situations. And the man, and sometimes it can be the other way, but usually it's more the man that gains his pleasure by dominating the woman. Also, this reflects the society. If you look at society, it's a very male-oriented society. I mean, God is a man, in the religion. Why cannot God be a woman? God is a man. If you go in church, all the priests and the cardinal are men. If you go in the politician system, mostly recently not, but until a few years ago, it was all male energy, right? And so on. And it is a chauvinistic world where the woman accepts the idea that she's inferior, which is actually the truth is opposite. Because whether you're a man or a woman, the female energy is in my opinion, the ratio is not even 50-50. It's like a few percentage higher female and a little bit lower male. That would be for me the perfect ratio to go really straight to the top, And so I don't know if I answered your question, but
you did.
Okay.
I'm talking about this because many times also, like, woman, they can think that us men, we are acting a certain way because maybe, I don't know, we're bad, we're masculist, but in truth, it's because the system was designed this way for us to get into this trap. It is a trap, because before, when I didn't know better, I was in this trap. I didn't knew about this balance. I didn't knew about the divine feminine, divine masculine. I didn't knew those things. So now this new knowledge that we are sharing this moment is so important, because we do need to be aware that there is an higher force, in the dark, that want to keep us in those low frequency. Now, it is okay, it's not negative. It is allowing ourselves now to waking up, into this reality, and to take our power back, and to be able, to rise again, also through sexuality.
Yes, thank you. Wow, this is so powerful, both of you guys sharing this. It's so magical because, my God, yes, women, I mean, we are creators. Like women, we are emotional. We literally make life. Like we are mothers. Like we are so connected to source. Like women, when we are in our period, even like society is been shaming us as a women to be like, our, like when we bleed every month, like that moment we are literally so connected to source. When we are like on the process of bleeding, our ancestors used to put women in a red tent, and we used to connect, and we like and they used to meditate, and our ancestors, women on that moment, they used to like literally bring information to them from other dimensional realms. And wow, it's like we are so intuitive. And as society did a long time ago, they used to like burn wishes, because wishes, they used to say like, oh no, they're danger. No, wishes, they used to literally talk to plants. We were so connected. We were just like, wow, like, like we really are like wishes. And they were like, no, this is scary, let's just burn all these wishes and let's take over also male. And just like, I mean, the masculine energy is mental, yes, and the feminine is our emotions. And we realize that we have both. Me as a physical woman, I have both of them within myself, but in a biology way, I'm a woman. But from that space, I can play around my feminine and my masculine, my mental and my emotions. But my biology, I'm a woman, so I'm a creative life force. And like, women are so, we're so intuitive, and we need a masculine energy to feel safe. For a woman to really to be connected to source, she needs to feel safe. And that's when Shiva comes, that's when consciousness comes, that's when the male energy creates a cocoon for her to connect with source, be bringing the information. But we need that male energy also as a provider, as a hunter, for the women to be connected to her feminine energy as a magnetic life force. And it's so powerful. I mean, all the Egypt goddess Isis, and I'm really like downloading all of this information. I've been reading a lot of books also of Egypt and all these goddesses. And Isis used to be a goddess. She used to be like so connected to her creative life force. They used to like practice tantra also. And what I like to also remind myself and others, that you can connect, you can practice tantra and connect sexually with yourself. You don't really need someone in the outside. Like you can, through your breath, even without touching your genitals, like you can rise that energy, like connecting your feminine and your masculine energy, like, and rising all those both within yourself, and bring all this information down. Like you can have a solo practice, as if you want to, and if you want a partner to practice with, it's just like both of you guys are rising that energy up. But we don't once again, like we can do it by ourselves first. And once we find that wholeness, that remembering that we are just complete, that's when you can find a complete person in the outside.
That's true. You know, there's some thoughts that comes to mind, to heart. You see, we have been in this planet for many, probably thousands, if not millions of times. And so we have been thousands and thousands of times, both men and women. So this time I am a man. Last time I was a woman, and so on. Who knows how many times I've been teaching, because we, in order to graduate from this curriculum, we have to experience it all. All right. So now we are in a moment of processing where we start to remember everything, and we are going to remember both our life as women and as men, and all the other kind of situations. And so this is a moment where we start to integrate everything, right? We start to integrate all these amazing experiences are not just related to this lifetime, but to all what we have been doing so far within the humanity realm. So I suspect that in this integration, the narrative will transmute itself, because I'm very familiar with the narrative of, which is 100% correct, of the man being the provider and the woman needs to be safe, and the woman will be nurtured, you know. But right now we are converging everything in a situation where there's no more need to feel safe of anything anymore. All right. So we can, in a way, we can let go of that narrative. And so there is no anymore a hunter. There is no more anymore somebody that stay home safe, waiting for the husband that provide for her. That was a beautiful playground for us. We were playing with those roles beautifully. But I suspect that right now we are getting to a point where that narrative is over, and so we have to embrace a new approach between female and male that doesn't have those elements anymore.
It's true. Thank you for this reminder. We are one. I love this.
Yeah, so our sexuality is going to be is going to express itself from new parameters and new ways. We are getting into the infinite abundance of energy, so it won't be anymore an issue, energy or lack of energy. It won't be anymore an issue, aging. It is going to be mostly because as the soul is going to be sitting at our driver's seat, because right now, until now, it's been our ego most of the time, with some moments, but most of the time it's the ego that drives our car. But once the soul is fully driving our car, sexuality is going to take a completely different twist. And we can elaborate on that, but what is most important right now is how to pass the bridge from the old world to the new. And maybe we can address how we can do that from the sexual point of view. What is needs to be let go at, and what is needs to be embraced in order for us to go to the world that is waiting for us, this amazing, beautiful world. So we already mentioned that, you know, the lower frequencies can be let go. So all this pornography, all this stuff. And if we can, if we don't judge it, but we see it just as an experience, and we see the perfection on everything, and we appreciate it. Say, wow, that was an interesting experience. I did that. Wow, that was incredible. But now, okay, thank you. Now I want to go back to our true relationship with sexuality, which is not just a physical activity, but it's a connection with first occur in a term of recognition between two souls that feel a special alchemy, right? Because and so it will get to the point where the erection will occur not because you have a nice ass, but it will occur because our alchemy at the soulful level is so entangled that we really want to feel that intimacy also at the physical level. So the sexual act will come from a spiritual connection first, or a soulfulness connection first, and then we'll reach also the body eventually.
Yeah, that's why love feeling connected to our hearts is the secret, to be able to connect with a partner in the outside and being able to unite as a divine God and a goddess. And I'm sure we all experience it when we make love, when we actually love that person. It's when we can get to this state. And yeah, on an orgasm, it's actually you are enlightenment. You are one with everything, that state, that frequency of like, that's why we can get so addicted to feel an orgasms, and people just like, masturbate, or like they're just so addicted and so attached to the orgasm. Because that moment, it's so powerful. And what Tantra does is like we expand that orgasm, and that's when women can become multi-orgasm. And it's not just a peak, it's just like we rise, and you are enlightenment for like, you can be in that state for hours, and you are just literally God. Like you are one with everything, and you're sharing the same frequency with your beloved, and obviously in a collective, because when you are in that frequency, you are giving transmitting all of that with everyone.
And I feel again the gate is here, is in the heart. It's very important also, like, to don't shame ourselves for the past, as I don't shame myself for my past, because I had a lot of fun. It was a blessing. It was amazing, fantastic. But the state of consciousness that I was in that moment allowed me to have that kind of fun. The state of consciousness that I'm in today, that kind of situation are not possible. That's why, as Marco said, I am and we are in this bridge from the old to the new, and I really feel in this bridge, you beautiful people, beautiful soul, to me are guides, are point, are light, where I see you and I follow the light, because we are aligned, with our truth. So that's why it's very important what we're doing, and it's very important, to remember who we truly are, and to remember also, the sacrality and the power of our sexuality.
Yeah, wow, it's creative life force is, and it's beyond, like, it's penetrating life. It's beyond actually the act of interacting in a sexual way, but it's creative life forces where we create our ideas, is where we create our dreams, is where we just create. And when you know how to use that energy, like it's just everything is a god, as a god and a goddess energy, as a creator's beings.
And I feel also like it's very important to empty our mind when we are in those kind of, like, tuning in with our sexuality. Every time that my thoughts are not aligned, I can go somewhere that doesn't feel good. I literally feel trapped into those lower frequency. And as soon as I can empty my mind and I can tune, a center, with my heart, with my higher self and my sexuality, then, it becomes amazing. It becomes absolutely blessing. But, I can talk for myself. I'm still in the process to work with those energy, because I do feel still some density, especially in the mind, and Marco, what do you feel about that?
What do you say?
What do you feel about, the power of the thoughts,
Yeah. Yes, once we let go of that, we deprogram ourselves, we go to the natural state. It's going to be very similar to what is our relationship with food, right? Right now, our relationship with food is mostly emotional. So we eat much more than what is needed, and we eat in ways. We eat stuff. So we don't honor food as energy, but as a way to fill up our sense of lack or our empty spots, right? Once we go to the original our original blueprint, then we don't need any more to eat. We are breatharian normally, and so the reason why we eat is because we are in front of a tree. We want to commune with the tree, and so we eat the fruit of the tree so we can have a communion with the tree. We can feel and have a conversation with the tree. So it's the same thing with the sexual act. We see someone and we want to commune and have a conversation, and we use also the sexual energy to do so, right? So that is the dance that is going to be natural for us once we remove all these ideas that we have adopted about sexuality, which are embedded in the survival, in the scarcity, in the separation, in the emptiness that we feel, in the lack of love. Because the love, we already talked about this, the love that we know until now, it's a love that is very emotional. So if I love you and I want to be with you, well, I am worried about you. I need you. I sacrifice myself for you. These are all elements of what we call love in the inverted matrix. And so it's a love that is very heavy and is basically a love of someone that has a container that is empty of love and is looking for someone else to fill the love fill their container. Now, when we shift into the other love, which is the love that is just equally, is basically saying, I love you, you are free. So from that freedom, now it's not anymore neediness that is driving each other, in this case on bed. It's not anymore an ego that needs to find nutrition, but is just I'm free, you are free, and we feel resonance, and so we dance together, and we are not concerned about the outcome, the consequences, what happened in the past. We know there is not, at that point, there's not any more insecurity, and so I need to dominate you so I feel more secure about myself, or there is a sense of all that stuff is gone. So now it's just a free dance, and it will last a second, a month, a lifetime. It doesn't matter. We don't measure anymore the value of a relationship from the length, but we measure the success of a relationship from from the evolution that occur in our interchange, in our sexual exchange, because the soul, the only thing it wants is to evolve. That's the only thing it wants. It wants to evolve, and it wants to be of service of life. These are the only two things that the soul desire. So if the soul embrace a sexual relationship, if we can say so, it will do it just for that reason, to evolve and to be a support. So you can see how sexuality is going to be very different from those points of view, rather than the old-fashioned way of interacting sexually.
Unconditional love.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yes. I love you. Free. I love you with no conditions. As I love you, I love myself. It's such a important way to reprogramming ourselves. As we were saying, we grew up in needing things. We own things, you know, like this is mine, this is yours. And but now reprogramming ourselves of like, yes, there's nothing of separation in here. It's I love you in this present moment, and as I love you, I'm loving myself because you are a reflection of myself, and I feel activated sexually. And wow, thank you for this reminder.
Yes, so in the sexuality, when love is equal to freedom, there is so many elements, contractive elements that are not there anymore. For example, I don't have to prove anything. I don't need your validation. So I don't need to, because many are obsessed with the performance, so that, you know, so she think I'm a good lover. And it's all this narrative that is about needing to be accepted and being valued. Based on how I perform sexually, all those things are not needed anymore. So we can go into an interaction that is much more genuine, is much more honest, it's much more transparent, and it's much more fun and also much lighter, you know?
Yeah, yes, totally. And yeah, it's just you. There's nothing to perform, especially for a male, for a masculine, for a male, how like society tell them to like always be hard, always like the size of the lingam. The lingam is in Sanskrit penis, and like all this taboo of like being the size and hard and like how I'm doing it. And it's just when we drop all of that, that's when we can actually drop into like soul to soul of like, this is me. I love you and I love myself, and I'm here. Presence, as Benny was saying, like being present here and now. And that's when you can really rise, because yes, the mind, it can be chit chat. And when we identify the tree, I feel like connecting and having this duality, and knowing that there's duality as the dark, there's light, there's all of that, but we don't identify with the dark, even with the light. We are like beyond that. We are the observer of that duality, and that's like pretty much just gods. And we're observing, oh, like, yeah, my thoughts are there, but I'm not identifying with my thoughts. I don't push them away neither, because pushing is saying no. It's like I observe them, they are there, but I come back into presence. I come back into my heart. Yeah, like the heart is the key of like, oh, I'm here. And the breath, like, for me, it's just like the body. Like every time I'm in my head, I'm like, come back into your body, come back into your breath. Like, ooh, okay, I'm back. It's just like observing the different techniques that you can use in this physical body to come back into this present moment. And like your body, it's a portal to come back. Your breath, the sound, like opening your throat chakra, like your creative life for your sexual energy in your throat chakra are connected. As you connect your voice, like like creating sound, like you are opening your creative life force, your sexual energy. But we have this thing of like, oh, we need to sound really pretty when we sing. No, like, get it out, opening your throat, like open your lingam and your yoni as you open your throat, and just surrender.
We come back also, like, you know, to the same lesson, is that honesty is the new currency. You know, honesty is the new frequency. So when we are honest to each other, we can really meet heart to heart. You know, we don't need no more mask. You know, we're not more persona. We're meeting soul to soul. You know, and that's where the magic can happen. That's when the portal can be open. And that's where we're going, you know, in the other side of the bridge. So I'm very excited, you know, to get there. And I'm also very excited to be in that bridge in this moment, because it is very special.
The bridge. Yeah, it's happening. It's really happening. It's like
it's happening for real.
It's It's amazing. I like every single day I give thanks. I'm like, thanks my soul, like to come into this lifetime right now because it's happening and I'm feeling it like, whoa, it's like this code is just like, oh, it's so strong and like I'm here alive. Like we are here. We have this beautiful technology where I'm like, we can like we can communicate. We can like send each other codes from all over the world. Like nothing will stop us. It's like it's such a blessing.
Yeah, nothing will stop us, and also we don't gotta guess to use it to to just connect through those beautiful, amazing technology. It's very important for us to get together, to be together, to touch each other, to make love. And I remember the power of the place in Panama, the power of the festival, to be there in that gathering, the incredible energy. So it's very important also for us to start to have a vision about having a playground, where we can really get together, start to experience how does it feel, the new earth, how we want to really create, in the material, and it's very important for us also, to visualize, create that experience.
Let's do it. It's happening. A lot of people are really actually in the collective way looking for that space, buying land, creating retreat centers, and it's like, wow, it's really happening, and I feel it in my body too. I don't want to be looking because when I look, I'm looking from an empty space, but it's gonna happen, and I feel like it's there.
Yeah.
And yes.
And we're getting prepared to do that and to have that space. All of this is a preparation because, as Marco said in our previous meeting, in a community is also a very powerful place to explode. So if we are not really prepared to hold that frequency, to be centered, to be grounded, to stand in our truth, it can be a place, for disaster, and we don't want that. That's why also those talk, those inner work that we are doing this moment, they're just preparing us, to hold that pillars, that frequency, in that place. I can really see it. I can feel it. I'm there with you guys, and it's so amazing, like unbelievable. It's orgasmic. I love it.
It's happening, Benny. I know it. These days. Thank you for being this lion, just like raw with all this energy, such a manifester, and yes, and coming as a community. And I know it's not easy. Living in a community, it's mirroring each other the whole time. It's about communication and being true with ourselves, showing up for ourselves so we can show up for others. But keeping remembering that everything that happens in the outside is a reflection within ourselves. So coming to that temple from that space, that's why for me in my courses I teach a lot of like a self practice. It's the key. Like and that needs to be every single day. It's not 3 times a day. It's like every single day, and however feels good. Yoga, running, anything, meditation, movement. There's so many tools now to come back into source, but like every single day, close your eyes and stay there, and from that space bring all the ideas and fill up your cup, and remembering that from your heart center is where you can open your eyes and create the outside, but it's all inwards. Respirando tu amor, breathing your own love.
So, Mariposa, what is in your daily routine, in your work, what is at this moment your biggest challenge? What do you find that is the most challenging aspect of what you're doing right now in your work or service?
You mean the challenge in myself or a challenge as a collective, what I see in my clients?
Yeah, a challenge that in what is it that is the most challenging situation, a recurring situation for you that you see when you are exercising your practice, or when you are teaching, when you are helping other people? What is the biggest resistance? What is it? What is going on?
Interesting, beautiful question. What it can be the most challenge? Oof, I feel like getting caught in separation, getting caught in the ego. I can observe myself just like, yeah, maybe separation. That it's me. I feel like now I'm really I'm better at it, but like, oh, I'm the leader, I'm the teacher, and like now bringing myself down, like no, I'm a student. I'm always learning. I'm in the same level as them. What other challenge it can be? Beautiful. It's beautiful to think of other challenges. I don't do that often. I'm always like in this like, yeah, like how I can get it better, but like really tuning in and what's hard. Oh, I can see one. Always in the space of go, do. In the space of like, I need to facilitate more retreats. I need to do yoga. I need to do my practice. I need to do something to be one with source. I need to teach. I need to do things where I'm coming back. I'm like, I am. I don't need to do nothing to become something, like something, sometimes reaching for something. And even my clients, I see them reaching for something, always like, I need to heal. I need to reach this. I need to become enlightenment. I need to become this. And me observing that, like, I need to do, where I'm like, no, when I am in my meditation state, and I'm in that space of peace, I'm like, I don't need to do nothing. I am. I'm already perfect. I am ready, God, without doing anything. Like, it's just more in this space of I am. Like, yeah. So I think that's the more challenge part, I think. What is your most challenged part, Marco?
Well, the challenge, of course, it's a beautiful challenge. Is the challenge that I sign up for, which is to copy with this very separative environment, and constantly be able to, because right now discernment is one of the key, to discern what is it that, and how to operate, how to be of service. Be of service is not necessarily an easy thing to do, because giving sometimes is a good idea, sometimes it's not, sometimes it can be an interference to help someone. So the idea of helping needs to be constantly calibrated, and needs to constantly be, how do you say, so yes. But the question was more like the challenge. What do you find in the people that comes to you? What are their mostly of the time? What do you see, for example, men, how they open to the sexuality, and women, how they open to their sexuality?
I feel, because I work in the sexual, in the tantra field, the more challenge that I find, it's I find a lot of couples coming to me and try to connect in a deeper level, in a soul level. So I see a lot of people pretty much into this dependency state where like they depend of each other as a couple, and they really just make love in a really like physical way. There's just like boom, 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 ejaculation. Okay, going to bed. Like they don't really find this soul level connection.
Yeah.
A lot of like getting lost into the other pleasure in the other person and forgetting about themselves. A lot of forgetting about themselves because they spend so much time with each other where it's like, wait, who I actually am. So I find a lot of disconnection because they're finding love in the outside as their partner, or finding love in their social media, or finding love into how do they look like. So I find a lot of people looking of, I mean, at the end they're saying like they're looking for connection with their partner, but I just know they're looking for connection with themselves first, and then once they connect with themselves, they can be able to connect with their partner. So I take them to this self-love journey, and then once they're there, they can come into as a union, as a god and a goddess, once they remember who they are within themselves. So yeah, I think it's that where the most people come to me.
Interesting. Yeah, makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So beautiful to feel you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's just really beautiful.
Now we're connected, even like with Marco, and let's keep on tuning this frequency. Let's keep on sending, this energy to this vision, and I'm sure very soon something beautiful is going to be created, especially in this moment.
Yes, it's already happening. We're already there. We are so connected, but I know soon we're gonna create. Yes, it is. It's already happening in here, that space. Thank you for being alive in here and creating this space to just like express. It's so beautiful just to see each other ideas and learn from each other. And yes, thank you so much. I saw you guys other videos, and I'm really happy you guys are creating these beautiful containers where just connecting with our inner wisdom, and each one of us have a different one, so when we combine them together into one, we can create a lot of magic.
Yeah,
thank you to show up. So beautiful, it's so amazing. Bring your medicine and share your medicine with us. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and let's take a long deep inhale. If everyone that is watching this video, please don't forget to breathe deeply and connect with your breath, and question everything too.
Thank you, Mariposa. Appreciate it.
Un bacio. Alla prossima.
Ciao.
Aho.
Bye bye.